Her father's sickness had drained the family of everything they once had. Poverty clung to them like a shadow. Their mud-walled home was crumbling, and every day seemed like a war against hunger, despair, and time. For Amara, the only daughter of the struggling family, one dream kept her moving forward. She wanted to make her parents proud. But destiny often hides behind disguises. The woman who promised Amara help was not the savior she pretended to be. She was secretly part of a cruel ring that preyed on vulnerable girls. Amara would soon learn that her refusal to compromise her dignity would throw her into the merciless streets of Lagos. Still, her journey would not end in tragedy, for in the most unlikely moment, in the quiet shade of a forgotten bush, she would stumble upon a dying man. What she didn't know then was that this man was no ordinary stranger. He was one of the wealthiest men in Nigeria, and saving his life would change her own forever. The first rays of dawn had not yet broken when Amara lifted her shovel at the construction site. Her palms were blistered, her fingernails stained with cement, and her jeans torn from the hard labor. Sweat ran freely down her back, soaking her faded scarf. Among a sea of male workers, she was the only woman, yet she worked with more grit and determination than any of them. The men often teased her. "Now, this one's strong past some of us." One worker laughed. "Forget him, she no be woman again. She be iron," another said mockingly. But Amara ignored their words. Every drop of sweat was for her father, Okori, once a respected schoolteacher, now bedridden with a mysterious illness that had consumed him for 2 years. Her mother, Ade, stayed by his side night and day, praying for a miracle. Amara decided she would become that miracle. She dropped out of school and carried blocks heavier than her body, mixing sand and cement until her muscles screamed. While other girls her age posed for selfies, she labored under the sun to buy medicine and Gary for her parents. That afternoon, as the red dust rose under the scorching sun, a black SUV rolled onto the site. The shiny car commanded attention, and when the door opened, a woman stepped out, her gold jewelry clinking like music. Her name was Madame Gloria, a woman known for her wealth and flamboyance. When her sharp eyes fell on Amara, she stopped. "A girl? Doing this kind of work?" she asked, curiosity and amusement in her voice. Amara wiped her forehead and answered simply, "Yes, ma." Madame Gloria studied her for a long moment. "You are strong, and beneath all that sweat and dust, you're beautiful." Amara blushed shyly. She had never been complimented in such a way. "What if I told you I could change your life?" Madame Gloria said smoothly. "I live in Lagos. I run businesses. I help girls like you. Come with me. I'll give you a job, 10 times better than this. You won't need to carry blocks again." Amara's breath caught. Could this be the opportunity she had prayed for? She rushed home that night, excitement burning in her chest. "Papa, Mama, Madame Gloria said she will take me to Lagos," she announced with glowing eyes. Her father coughed weakly, worry shadowing his face. "My daughter, be careful. The city can be cruel." Her mother wept silently, torn between hope and fear. But Amara held her father's frail hand and whispered, "I'll make you proud. I'll come back with money for your treatment." The next morning, the whole compound gathered as Madame Gloria's SUV arrived. Amara hugged her parents tightly, promising to return stronger. As the car sped away, her parents' figures grew smaller and smaller, and Amara's heart swelled with hope. The drive into Lagos felt like a journey into another universe. Towering buildings, glittering billboards, and endless traffic replaced the dusty village road she knew. Madame Gloria barely spoke, busy with business calls. Amara sat silently, clutching her small nylon bag, her heart racing with dreams of a brighter tomorrow. When they arrived at Madame Gloria's mansion in Lekki, Amara thought she had stepped into a palace. Marble floors, chandeliers, plush sofas, and food that smelled like heaven. She ate fried rice with fat chicken pieces, showered in hot water, and slept on a clean bed for the first time in her life. That night she cried, but for once her tears were of hope. Days passed. No mention of work came. Instead, Madame Gloria told her to relax and enjoy herself. Amara waited patiently, but her father's condition weighed heavily on her mind. She needed money quickly. One evening she asked timidly, "Madam, please, When will I start the job you promised me? Madame Gloria's lips curled into a smile. Tonight, Amara's heart leapt. She hurried to her room and ironed the only decent dress she had, imagining herself as a receptionist, a hotel cleaner, maybe even a shop assistant. Anything would do. But when Madame Gloria entered with a shopping bag, Amara's excitement collapsed. Inside the bag was a tiny red dress, revealing and inappropriate. Wear this. A guest paid for you. You're going out with him tonight, Madame Gloria ordered coldly. Amara froze. Paid? For me? Madam, I thought you were giving me a real job. Gloria slammed her glass on the table. This is Lagos. You'll make 10 times what you earn carrying cement. Stop acting stupid. Tears welled in Amara's eyes. I can't. I won't sell my body. Gloria's face hardened. Then get out. Now, take your bag and leave. Moments later, Amara found herself thrown onto the cold street outside the mansion. No shoes. No money. No place to go. The once glittering city lights now mocked her, cold and unforgiving. She walked aimlessly through the night, clutching her small bag, ignored by some, harassed by others. Car windows rolled down, men offering rides, insults rained on her from strangers. Eventually, exhausted, she collapsed on a wooden bench at a bus stop. That night was only the beginning of her nightmare. By the second night, Amara had realized Lagos was not a city that welcomed the poor. It swallowed them. She slept under bridges, curled beside kiosks, and ran from area boys who laughed and hissed crude remarks. Hunger burned her stomach. Sometimes she drank only water all day just to silence its growl. Yet through the suffering, she repeated her vow like a shield. I will never sell my body. I will survive with dignity. On the 4th morning, she joined a group of hawkers selling sachet water on the roadside. A sharp-tongued girl named Chisholm lent her a small bowl of sachets. Bring back 800 after sales. If you cheat me, I'll curse you, Chisholm warned. Balancing the bowl on her head, Amara stepped into the chaotic Lagos traffic. Honking buses, shouting conductors, and patient drivers, she wove through them all, calling pure water, cold water 50 naira. The first day she stumbled. The second, she nearly got hit by a bike. But by the third, she found her rhythm. At night, she slept again under the bridge. The rain soaked her wrapper. Rats scurried near her feet. Around her, other girls whispered about sugar daddies who gave them quick money. Some laughed at Amara. You day form saint. Lagos no day favor saints. But she held her ground. One evening, sitting under the stars blurred by city smog, she whispered a broken prayer. God, I know you see me. Don't forget me, please. The very next day, her prayer was answered in the most unexpected way. It was a scorching afternoon. Traffic had stalled on the expressway. Amara's head ached from the sun, and her stomach gnawed with hunger. Desperate to relieve herself, she slipped behind a bushy patch near the highway. There, in the quiet shade of weeds and discarded tires, she heard it. Help, please, somebody. Her heart froze. The voice was weak, faint, like air escaping from a dying balloon. Slowly, she followed the sound, and then she saw him. A man in a torn suit, his white shirt soaked in blood, his hands and legs tied, his face swollen, his breath shallow. Amara gasped, her bucket of water crashing to the ground. The man's lips trembled. Please, don't let me die. Then his eyes rolled back, and he fell unconscious. Fear battled with compassion in Amara's chest. This could be a trap, she thought. But as she stared at his bleeding body, something stronger than fear pulled her forward. She untied his bonds with trembling hands, then dragged him inch by inch toward the road. Though he was twice her weight, her arms burned, her legs shook, but she refused to stop. Standing in the middle of traffic, she waved frantically. Please, help us. Somebody stop. Most drivers honked and swerved, but finally an old taxi screeched to a halt. Now weddin' be this, the driver shouted. He's dying. Please, hospital. The driver eyed the bloodied man. Hope you go pay me, oh. Amara opened her bag. All she had was 1,100, her entire day's sales. This is all I have. Please save him. The driver hissed but drove. Amara held the man's hand the whole ride, whispering, Don't die. Please stay alive. At the hospital, the nurses asked, Is he your relative? No, but he's dying. Please help. Deposit first, one nurse said coldly. Amara dropped to her knees. I have nothing left. Please, I beg you, don't let him die. The doctor finally intervened. He's O+. We need blood immediately. Without hesitation, Amara said, "Take mine." The needle pierced her arm. Blood drained from her body into his. Dizziness swept over her, but she clutched the thought, "If this is my purpose, then let it be." Moments later, she collapsed unconscious on the hospital floor. Hours passed. The man she had rescued stirred awake in the emergency ward. His first word was a rasp. "Water," the nurse explained softly. "A girl found you. She saved your life. She gave you her blood." He blinked, dazed. A girl, when he learned she was lying unconscious in the next ward. He insisted on seeing her despite his own weakness. Supported by the nurse, he entered the room. Amara lay pale on the bed, an IV in her arm, her wrapper still stained with dirt. She looked fragile, like she could vanish into the sheets. The man's throat tightened. He whispered, "You saved me." Her eyes fluttered open weakly. "You're alive," she murmured. "Because of you," he said, lowering himself beside her. She tried to sit up, but he stopped her gently. "Don't. You're weak." Tears welled in her eyes. "I couldn't leave you there. Even if nobody sees me, I still have a heart." Those words struck him like lightning. For years, in his world of power and wealth, he had forgotten what simple humanity looked like. "My name is Chief Obina," he said softly, "chairman of Obina Group, and from today I owe you my life." Amara's eyes widened. She had heard whispers of him even on the streets. The billionaire businessman shrouded in mystery. And now here he was, alive because of her. From that moment, her life turned. Chief Obina ordered his aide to settle every bill, then arranged food and clean clothes for her. The next day, when she was discharged, he opened the car door for her himself. "Let's go home," he said. She thought he meant back to her village, but when they arrived, she realized home meant his mansion in Ikoi. The gates opened to reveal gardens, fountains, and a palace-like house. Amara stood frozen, clutching her tiny nylon bag. Inside, chandeliers glittered, music played softly, and servants greeted her with respect. She could barely believe it. Chief Obina said simply, "This is your home now, too. You saved my life, you will never be homeless again." Amara wept. Just days ago, she had been hawking water under the blazing sun, chased by hunger and humiliation. Now she was stepping into a life she never imagined, and it was only the beginning.